quite a bit. When I would do conferences, I did one in California, and she came out and met me there. Just so happened that we were in San Diego. It happened to be my birthday, so a lot of the pictures that you saw up front were her and some of my co-workers. It happened to be my birthday, so we all went to dinner at the Hotel Coronado. Then Sandy and I took off and went up to Long Beach. And we had brunch on the Queen Mary, and it was really my first time out in California, so we really had a good time. Some other friends, we had gone to dinner down at the Chef and Farmer restaurant, the lady that's on PBS that opened the restaurant. So we were all very into food, gardening. We know Sandy loved nature. I would get text message from her, and it would be the picture of the fox or a turtle laying eggs or something like that. And I would always joke her and call her and say, "You really are Mother Nature stuck back in those woods," because she just loved it back there. So it was always a pleasure to get together with her. She was an uplifting spirit, very kind, very gentle. We spent a lot of holidays together over our friend's Barry Phillips' house with dinner, and she invited her family, and they joined us. And we probably would do dinner once a week. Had dinner with Fritz and Melanie, and whoever else that she had. She had friends that she would just go out with for dinner sometimes, and if I would call, she would invite me along. So it was always a pleasure to be around her. And I know that really the only hard time I really saw Sandy go through was when she lost Zeus, her dog. She called me when she had him put down, and came by the house, and we sat there and talked, but I know he was there to meet her on the other side. So in thinking of what I was going to say today, I had spoke with Reverend Ann, and something that I don't know if I had the strength to do. So I relied on my good friend the internet, and I went and I looked at some different poems and that type of thing that I thought would kind of speak to Sandy and her life and the celebration today. So I am going to read those for you. There was no time to say goodbye, but this I ask, please don't cry. Remember me as you think best. Remember the happy times and fun times, forget the rest. Look for me, and I will be there. You will find me everywhere. In the gentle touch of the breeze that cools the skin and swirls the leaves. In the scent and color of flowers that gave me happy hours. On sunny days, under sunny skies of blue, just think of me, and I'll be with you. In winter, when there's cloud and mist, the rain will give to you my kiss. As wood smoke lingers in the air, look for me, and I'll be there. Where seagulls fly above the sea, and the surf rolls in endlessly, among towering trees that soar above, and all the things that I loved. Look for me, and I'll be there. You'll find my presence in nature everywhere. I'd like the memory of me to be a happy one. I'd like to leave an afterglow of smiles when life is done. I'd like to leave an echo whispering softly through the trees of happy times, of laughing times, and bright and sunny memories. Travel on, my friend, with peace and grace. We will remember fondly your smiling face. Travel on, my friend. Cherished memories will remain. Travel on, my friend, until we meet again.
I represent, I think, a lot of us that are captivated by her personality and her magnetic personality, her smile, and her eyes that Tina points out too. I knew her at two different times in my life. When I was a front desk clerk at the Cavalier Hotel way back, one of my first jobs ever, where I was telling some of you guys I had a pink clip-on tie that matched the carpet up in front of the lobby and the whole thing like that. And Sandy was the reservations manager, and Sandy's smile carried me through a lot of days there, because sometimes the hotel business is a little rough, for sure. I met her again later in life as a sales manager for the city of Virginia Beach. I had gone off, lived out west for a while and come back, and I didn't know it, but I was on the same plane as Sandy. And we were going to a convention, and she was working for Norfolk, and I was working for Virginia Beach, and at the connecting airport,
she would have things laid out, and was always well prepared. That's the technical side of Sandy, and it was an important part of who she was. But more important, as many of us have said, was the joy, the happiness, the brightness that was Sandy. She had a theme. She had two themes. One was that she had been a ballet dancer when she was young, and anytime I came into the office to do some work, the WHRO, the classical music, was on. That was part of Sandy. The other part was mermaids. And I know we were on a trip one time, and you go into these gift shops and they have themes, and I found a plaque that had to do with mermaids, and I brought it to her as a gift. One time I was at the Virginia Aquarium gift shop, and I saw a necklace that was a turquoise color of coral. And so I just had to get that for her because it looked like what a mermaid would wear. So as I think of Sandy now, I only think of the beautiful.
I've been coming to this church since 1980, so it's been quite a while. And like the men and women before me, her smile was contagious, and the sparkle in her eyes were contagious. And I hope I have stories, but right now they're not important. What's important is that she sees all of us here and appreciates all of you making an effort. There is no doubt in my mind. And when we adjourn a little bit later and go to the social and eat, let's keep that in mind. I'll tell you a little story. I was at a Jewish funeral when I was very young. I was probably late teens, early 20s. And after the funeral was at the gentleman's home that I had worked with. There were 2 large bowls of water on the outside door. And there was a note saying, "Cleanse yourself of grief and come in happy. And remember all the wonderful, wonderful memories that this individual had with you." So later on, let's kind of maybe remember that and cleanse ourselves of the grief and celebrate her life.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jamie Caron, and I've known Sandy for many years. And as I walked up to this, I really don't know. I don't have a prepared thought to throw out with you all. But I did know and love her. She was such a wonderful person. I will always remember her. Little anecdotes. I could go on with stories, but the one little story that I actually have to thank her for is that I've got a dog, and she was so fond of animals. And when I got this dog, my dog was a little rambunctious, and she said, "You gotta have a doggy gait." So she gave me her doggy gait, and my dog is gone, and the gate is still in my garage. And I kid you not, I look at that gate because the garage is my place, and I see her all the time. And she's always been a memory of mine. I've kind of fallen away from her because of life changes and so on, but she will always be in my heart, and I know she will be with everybody here as well too.
Hi, I'm Kathy. And when Cliff was saying, like, when he started working with Sandy, I don't even know. I mean, half of you I can look at, and we've worked together for so long, I couldn't even tell you when I first met you because we've all known each other for so long. And that's what friends and family are about, I think. We don't work in an easy industry. It's one that makes you want to cry, and thank God we're all together so that we can make each other laugh. But when I think of Sandy, I think of the animals. We always talked about our cats. At one time I had 7, and she made me feel normal. And but she was just always so nice, and some of us cannot be so nice to each other, it seems sometimes, and Sandy always was. And then when I think of Sandy, God forbid, I think of those jean shirts at the CVB. She loved her Norfolk CVB jean shirt. It was her favorite thing, and I always just, whenever I see one of those in the back of my closet that still comes up, I always think, well, Sandy would love this, I should put it aside for her. Because she was just happy, you know, and everybody's saying she brought joy to us. And you know, right now, I think we all need a bit of joy. So I hope she's in a great place with all those animals. And it's very naturist. And I just thankful that I did meet her. Don't remember when, it's been so long, but I'm really glad I did.
Sandy. I came to this church to do some work at the office with Sandy. I have learned so much from her. But I just keep on my mind this, the moment when I left last month. I left for the 22nd of April. That was a Monday. And I worked on whatever needed to be done that day. And I said, okay, Sandy, where I leave, I'm leaving. I walk out the door, and all of a sudden, I said, wait a minute. I need to come back. So I came back, and I said, Sandy, I'm not going to see you again. I said, I'm leaving for a month. He said, oh, okay. And she gave me she opened herself in her arms the way, you know, so big. And we hugged, she gave me a big hug, and I kept that in my mind and in my heart. And Sandy, wherever you are now, fly as far, as fast and as high as you can. You are free. And you remain in our hearts forever. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria Herring. I had the pleasure of working with Sandy for many years, and I'm just very grateful that she was in my life and that I was graced with that beautiful, beautiful smile. And I wanted to share a cute story that we traveled to Atlanta many years ago together, and we had a long day of meeting with clients, and then we went out to dinner, and Sandy goes, we're gonna go to this really great restaurant. I thought, great, I love to eat, let's go. So I'd never heard of this restaurant before. It was called The Palms, and I didn't know how expensive this restaurant was going to be. And so we ate, and it was wonderful, and we get back, and we turn in our expense reports, and if you've ever worked with us, or work with me now, you know that the two of us got in loads of trouble for having eaten dinner there. But it's a great memory, and I wouldn't take it back. But I find great comfort in knowing, I believe anyhow, that she's in a place where there's no sorrow, no suffering, and a place of life everlasting. And may God bless and keep her family, her friends, and may her memory be eternal.
I had the opportunity to go with Sandy and also Paul Thompson to monthly meetings to VSAE in Richmond. And I used to sit in the back seat and just listen to them talk, and they just made sales seem so much fun and easygoing, and just like it wasn't really their job. They were just having fun doing it. And we'd go to these meetings, and they were so intimidating. Had all these meeting planners and people who had known each other for a really long time. And Sandy would just introduce me to people and just kind of take me under her wing, which I really appreciated. And as the years went on, we became very close. We'd go to dinner, and I would go to her house, and she was just a very relaxed person, and I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to meet her and be able to call her a friend. She was very supportive and loved everybody that's in this room.
I'm like, who's Betty? She goes, the other cat from the next litter of the feral cat. And I'm like, what are you going to do? Try to catch them all? She goes, well, I got these two. that was when our neighborhood, and I say our neighborhood because we're all on this 11, 12 acres of land. And so after the church people are gone and the church business is done, we have this little neighborhood. And we would meet. The only thing is when Sandy got the cats at home, she quit coming out to meet with us anymore. And we were like, we don't understand this. And we got like, okay, maybe she just loves her cats. And we talked, Linda and I talked, we sort of wish we would have went and drug her out of the house to be more a part of the neighborhood. And so I say that, I just bless Sandy. I think for some reason she was sick for much longer at the time than we thought. And she didn't share it with any of us. And so there's many of us who are, I'll say it, we're beating ourselves up because we didn't do something different here. And we didn't knock on her door and drag her. And we tiptoed around it. We did. We said, so, Melanie, have you talked to Sandy about her health? Or I'd go up to her and say, Sandy, what's going on? And none of us were really forceful. Because we're adults and we honor and respect each other's space. Today, and I've heard Linda say it too, we truly do wish we would have knocked on her door and not given her a choice. I know Wayne wishes he had that opportunity too. Because I feel that if we would have gone there, we wouldn't be here today. Because I do think whatever she had was fixable until it got too late. And I say that, I don't know that for sure, but that's my place. I saw her on Sunday, 2 days before she left this earth plane. She was coming in to set up for Sunday morning, and she said, I forgot a flower for our newcomers, the new members. I'm going to go to Kroger and get it. And I saw her come up. It was 7:15 in the morning. I saw her come up, so I met her outside. And she showed me, she says, my legs are so sore I can't walk in. I said, please, Sandy, go to the doctor. She said, I did. We don't know if she did or she didn't. And I'm not trying to make it a downer. It's just what happened. I'm not so sure she wasn't protecting us from that, or she just knew in her mind, in her belief, that she could heal whatever it was if she just stuck to it long enough. So I share that. Never did I expect the call that she didn't come to work that day. It was not in our consciousness, and I knew, because Sandy never didn't come to work that day. I knew it wasn't going to be good. I was hoping that she was still alive and end up in the hospital. And that's just not what happened here today. So I am going to ask you, if you have a story, those are what we take with us when we leave here today. It's the stories. And it's the, and I do know we'll go into the food area and everybody will share those stories, but they didn't want to come and share up here. So, and that's okay too. And I do want to give everyone an opportunity to talk and share if they want.
I will miss her very much. I don't know if anybody knows, but Dave and I are very close. And I met her probably 2 days after I met him. And she was, to me, when she first walked in that house, she was an instant friend. And by the time she walked out the door, she was like a sister. My sisters don't live near me. And she was my sister. It's hard for me to be anywhere in this vicinity without expecting her to come walking in. She was a joy. She was someone that I could talk to about anything. And I think she felt the same way with me because we didn't have a past beyond those 3 years that we've had each other as friends. So she could talk about things in her life without me knowing or having a clue who she was talking about. And vice versa with myself. And when Dave had family things, she was always there. When I had family things, she was always there. And they you know, if we were getting together and Sandy wasn't there, it's like, well, where's Sandy? Where's Sandy? You know, because she just always was there. And I had great benefits of being able to enjoy the cafe tequila. Thank you. It was good. It was crazy rich, but it was really good. And she enjoyed. We kept doctoring it up until it was something that we could comfortably drink. But it was fun. She loved to try things, as everybody knows. She loved food, and she loved fixing food. And I can still see her fussing over it and telling it, this is this and this is this. She was very animated with her hands when she would talk about things like that and how she prepared things. And she did not pick Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean picked her. We scooped her up off of the stump that's in Dave's backyard. And it was the only one that wasn't scared of everybody. It came out to the edge of the stump, and Sandy was right there, and she swooped it up and had it purring within moments. And I'm like, Sandy, you have to take this home. You have to take it home, because this will just end up feral if you don't take it home. And she, within days, I mean, it was just like not a feral cat at all. Or so. They are both sweet kittens. If you know anybody, they need some sweet kittens. I have two. I don't need them. But she would take comfort in knowing they had a home. I've enjoyed all the stories about her past because, like I said, I only have 3 years. But I really appreciate hearing more about her life. So thank you for that. And thank you for sharing her with me.
I want to thank Mary, Wayne, and her inner circle of friends for having this celebration of life. This is very, very, very special. I can't tell anymore because I'll start crying.
All the critters that live here. We have raccoons and we have snakes and of course mice and all of those kinds of things. Sandy had Zeus, Sandy had pussycats. But one evening I was leaving the church and I heard the strangest noise. And I'm locking up the door and it's dusk. And I turn around and there is a pig on the sidewalk. And it was a potbelly pig. They're dark and his eyes were shining and he came right up to me, so obviously he was a pet. I thought, where on earth did this creature come from? So I took a picture of him, sent it to Dave, sent it to Sandy, and said, look what's here at the church. Well, guess who took over the care of the potbelly pig? It was Sandy. Now, eventually she did find a home for it, which was good because we probably didn't want to add to the menagerie here. But it was simply another aspect of Sandy. Her yard was always full of blooming things and growing things. She would bring in, oh my gracious, the office would be, she would bring in amaryllis, and we would all ooh and ah over the incredible blooms. But it was her putting them together that brought all that beauty into the office. Sandy was a very special individual. She had several families. She has, of course, her personal family. She had her work family. She had her friends' family. And we all have come together to honor her today for the part she was to each of us in our lives. Sandy, we thank you. We love you.
Everything that everybody said here, I totally resonate with. She was so special. And being here today, she was so special that she could share with all of us, and each one of us knew she was special for us. She had that much to share, that much to give. This is just me, but I had my crying. And it was coming up again, which is good. And I had a deep need to know her. had an appointment scheduled with Joy Talley, a psychic in Virginia Beach, for yesterday. And so we talked a little bit about Sandy. And I don't know if you've ever been to a psychic or if you've been to Joy Talley, but they're guided. And I would only go to one that was in the light. And I know that she prays before she does a reading to be supported and guided and to only tell what needs to be told and what can be heard. I told her about Sandy's passing, and she said that Sandy was met by her grandfather on her father's side. I never met her father. I don't know if any of us ever had. And that for whatever we saw in Sandy, she did have a weight on her. And that being on the other side, that she felt like there was a great weight that had been lifted. I'm sure she didn't want to leave us, but she was obviously ready, in my opinion, to go to that other place.
Sandy always enjoyed my pictures. She would often comment on my photographs, always complimentary. This picture was one of Sandy's favorite, except she did not like the cone in the photo. Okay, Sandy, the cone is gone. Good night, Sandy. We love you.